Hello Pythoneer, welcome to your very first Python tutorial. So in this video, I am going to talk about the Python programming language and why I think is the best choice or the best decision to make. Okay, so now Python, okay, has been in existence for quite some time, okay, somewhere in the 90s, okay, early in the 90s, and Python has never grown in so much popularity up until now, and this has to do with quite a number of reasons. Okay, so I am going to look at the application. Now Python, it's being used almost everywhere in technology. Okay, so you'll find it on the web and internet development. Okay, so on the web, on the internet, you can find it being used, to develop backend of applications. I mean, in script, for scripting, server-side development. You can find its application in scientific and numeric. Okay, so scientific and then numeric data, application. So for instance, with the increment in interest in data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, Python is playing a very significant role, especially in its ability to work with numbers. So for instance, in NASA, they have adopted Python, okay, as one of its major programming languages for doing all their computations. So aside that, Python is not just powerful, okay, because of the language itself, but because of the code libraries that are built on top of it in the form of what we refer to as modules. Okay, so for every area of science, technology application, there is a Python module, okay, or a Python library, okay, or a Python package to help you do that. Okay, so there are so many of them. Okay, there are those that comes with the default programming, Python programming language. Okay, and then there are others that are built by the rest of the community. So for instance, if you are into the area of data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, then you would have things like SciPy, Pandas, NumPy, scikit-learn, and so many things, okay, to help you work with your huge numbers. Okay, and it's being applied in education. Okay, so learning Python, okay, the Python language provides, it covers all the major areas in learning programming. Okay, so for instance, Python follows all the programming patterns like functional programming, object-oriented programming. Okay, so it's object-oriented programming. Okay, so for instance, what it does is that it breaks, okay, so the concept of OOP, or object-oriented program, which has become very popular, okay, breaks down every problem, okay, into basic components so that it will help you to easily understand and to be able to solve the problem. Okay, so the style, okay, the style of the Python programming language, okay, makes it very easy, okay, to write clean codes. Okay, so if you are learning, or if you are an educator teaching teaching programming language, then your best bet will be to start with the Python programming language. It also offers keys. Okay, so you can use Python to also build graphical user interface applications, and then you can use it in general software development and in business application. And so the areas of application of Python is growing significantly. Okay, now when you check, okay, so when you check Stack Overflow, okay, survey, okay, so you realize that Python is among one of the top 3 programming languages, okay, among Stack Overflow users. Okay, and when you check that of stats from GitHub, you can see that Python is on the increase. Okay, so a lot of people are jumping up onto the language, day in, day out. Okay, so I can assure you that it's going to gain more in popularity, and it's going to take over, okay, in the next few years. Okay, so if you are especially if you are not using Python, okay, then I would encourage you to do so, and you can follow along this series, okay, so that you can learn a lot. If you are in another programming language, then you can also include Python, okay, as part of your programming languages. Now Python itself, it's very easy to use. Okay, so it's very easy to use, compared to other programming languages. You only need to write a simple line of code, and then you get a whole lot of things being done. Okay, so it's a high level multi-purpose programming language. Okay, so when you get into the programming language itself, you realize that the rules are so simple to follow. So for instance, Python is case sensitive, and you need to adapt to that, and then a few other things that you need to know, which we'll talk about or we'll cover in our tutorials. Now the last thing that I will talk about has to do with installing. Okay, so you can go to the downloads and then you can download Python, okay, for my Windows. Okay, but Python doesn't only work in Windows. Okay, it works on most operating systems. Okay, so now the current version, as the time of recording this video, is 3.10.2. okay, so the version could be different when you are installing, so just always make sure that you are using the most current stable version, which is the 3.10.2. okay, so before you install, you first have to check whether you have it already. So like I said, it comes with the installation of your Windows. So every computer Windows have Python installed. Okay, so you can just check Python and then you can see that you have it installed. Okay, so if you are not using the most current version, like what I am having here, so if this is going to differ from what they have on their official language, then you may have to think of upgrading your version, just to ensure that you can follow along with the rest of the videos. Okay, so guys, thank you, and then I'll see you in the next video. Bye.